If you ever tried selling on Fiverr, you probably already know it can be great, but also extremely crowded. So in this video, I'll show you 5 Fiverr alternatives that might actually give you a better chance of getting clients, depending on your skills and experience. And make sure you stick around to the end, because I'll also share a few quick but important tips that can help you succeed on any freelance platform, no matter which one you choose. In case you don't know, my name is Mikael and I have tested hundreds of ways to make money online, and I have made a living online for more than 6 years. And Fiverr is still one of the biggest freelance platforms out there, and for some people it works really well. But it's definitely not the only option, and for beginners it's often not even the best option. So today I want to give you an honest breakdown of 5 alternatives worth knowing about, why they are sometimes better than Fiverr, and what to keep in mind when choosing a platform. I've tested and used several of these myself, so I'll share real pros and cons and who each one is best for, without any hype. So let's start by talking quickly about why you might want to consider alternatives in the first place, and then we'll go through each platform one by one. So before I show you the alternatives, I want to quickly go over why it can make sense not to rely only on Fiverr. Not because Fiverr is bad, it's a great platform for many people, but there are a few things that are important to understand. First, Fiverr is insanely competitive now. There are millions of sellers, and in many categories, you are competing against people who have thousands of reviews. So if you're new, it can take a long time to get your first order simply because you are buried in the search results. Secondly, there's a huge price race on Fiverr sometimes, because on Fiverr, buyers expect fast work and low prices in many cases. So if you're offering something like design, writing, or video editing, it can be hard to charge what your time is actually worth, especially in the beginning. Thirdly, it's not ideal for every type of service. Some skills perform much better on other platforms. For example, long-time work like website management or content writing often gets better traction on platforms where clients look for ongoing partnerships and not one-time gigs. Lastly, Fiverr is good, but it's not enough on its own, in my opinion. A lot of freelancers end up stuck because they depend on Fiverr as their only source of clients. And that can be risky because algorithms can change, competition can grow, and trends can shift. So knowing other platforms and knowing how to succeed on any of them can make a huge difference, especially if you're just starting out. So let me now go over 5 great alternatives, and then I will finish with some great tips to make sure you get the best chances at succeeding as a freelancer, no matter what platform you choose. So the first great alternative to Fiverr is FlexJobs, because this is one of the most trusted platforms for remote and flexible jobs. So this is mainly relevant if that is what you're interested in. All jobs here are hand-screened, so there are very few scams and lower quality listings compared to many other platforms where you can find jobs. So this can be great for virtual assistants, writing, customer support, admin, part-time work, and even a lot of full-time work you can find here also. Because many of the listings are long-term or ongoing, not just one-off gigs. However, it is important to mention that it is not free. It requires a small fee to join and use, because that's how they can afford to do this hand screening and also giving you other tools to make your job search easier. Also be aware it is mostly remote jobs, it's not micro gigs, and most of them require a CV, a resume, or an application rather than just a quick gig setup. So it is not for everyone, but if you are looking for legit long-term remote work and you don't mind a small member fee to make sure you get the best possible support and hand-screen job offers, then this can definitely be a great option. And if you actually want to join it or any of the other platforms I will talk about, I'll leave a link below to a list I have on my website of the best freelance platforms. Here you can find joining links of all of them and also full tutorials and reviews of each of them. But let's now move on to the next one. So if you've heard about Fiverr, you have likely also heard about Upwork, because this can also be a great alternative. It is one of the biggest freelance platforms worldwide, and clients are also here often looking for ongoing work, not just small tasks, even though you can also find small tasks here. Here you can also charge fairly high rates once you have built a profile, and it has some built-in tools like time tracking and escrow for safe payments. But it's also important to mention that it can be hard to get approved as as a new freelancer, it is very competitive in popular niches, and also you pay fees based on your client's lifetime billing, so it can be up to 20% actually that you pay fees. So there can be quite high fees here, and you need to also use what they call connects to send proposals to clients, so you can't just send unlimited proposals to clients. So it has some pros and the cons, as most other freelance platforms do. Toptal is another freelance platform that you can consider. Here you can find extremely high quality clients. They mark themselves as the top 3% of freelancers. So if you get accepted here, you can get very good pay and long-term contracts. So it can be perfect for senior developers, designers, finance consultants, or in general freelancers with quite a lot of experience and skills. Because it's important to be aware that it's a very difficult application process. It has multiple steps. You can't just sign up and start posting here. It's only for experienced freelancers. They only accept few percentages of people that are applying. So if you're a beginner, this is not the right place to start. So it's best for advanced freelancers who want premium, high-paying clients. Next, we work remotely. It's one of the largest remote job boards in the world. It has tons of listings for example, tech, marketing, design, content, customer support, and companies posting are often legit established brands. You actually don't need an account here. You can just apply directly when you find the different jobs here. But it's important to be aware it's not a gig platform, it's a job board. So the applications here can be more competitive. You are going through an application process here. And there is no built-in protections like escrows where payments are done through the platform, like for example on Upwork and Fiverr. So in my opinion, this is best for people looking for proper remote jobs or long-term contracts, and not people who are looking for quick gigs. The last platform I want to show you before going over some quick tips to succeed on any freelance platform is freelancer.com. It is a very large platform with tons of categories. You can just see some of the examples here. It has many small tasks and beginner-friendly jobs also. It has sometimes built-in contests like logo or design contests where beginners can practice. So it can be good if you're looking for clients globally. Just be aware that there can also be a lot of low-paying jobs here, so you need to filter carefully. And some projects get a ton of applications, so there can also be a lot of competition here. There is both a free and a paid plan. The free plan is limited. The paid plan is where you can then bid more and send more proposals. So it can be kind of a hit and miss depending on the niche. In my opinion, it's best for beginners who want to build a portfolio and then get their first small jobs. So before now going over the tips on how to succeed on any freelance platform, I just want to quickly make you aware that the majority of you watching have actually not subscribed to my channel. It's a free and easy way to support my channel and my work, and you can always change your mind later. So I would really appreciate it if you can just subscribe and also hit the like button of this video. But let's now move on to the tips and tricks to make sure you can succeed on any freelance platform. So before finishing the video, I want to quickly share a few tips that can help you succeed no matter which platform or platforms you choose, whether it's Fiverr, Upwork, FlexJob, or anything else, or all of them. These are simple tips, but they make a huge difference. So the first tip is to start with one clear offer. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is offering everything they can do, because platforms, especially at the beginning, rewards clarity. So video editing for YouTube is, for example, much better than I do editing, thumbnails, writing, and translation. So a clear offer helps buyers understand exactly what they are getting, and this is particularly important when you are first starting out. Secondly, build a portfolio, even if that portfolio is self-created, because you do need people to see what you can do before they will hire you. So you don't actually need paid client work to create a portfolio. You can just create 3 to 5 examples yourself and then upload them as examples on the different freelance platforms, because most clients, they just want to see what you can do, not who you did it for, but they want to make sure you actually have skills to do the work for them. The third tip is to respond fast. On almost every platform, the algorithm boosts freelancers who reply quickly. And also, a fast response also builds trust and helps you land the job before anyone else does. I have hired freelancers on freelance platforms many times, and often you send a couple of messages at least, sometimes even more. And if one person gets back to you within, like half an hour, then you will continue the conversation with that person. And if it's the right person, you will sometimes end up hiring that person before someone else gets back to you, if you don't get back to you for 8 hours. Of course, you also need to sleep and all that, so that's not what I'm saying, but try to reply as fast as you can. Fourth tip is to not underprice yourself. Offer value instead. So starting cheap is of course okay, and it's also often necessary when you're just a complete beginner. But don't go into a race to the bottom. So you'll end up then just attracting clients who don't value your work. So focus on clear communication, delivering on time, professional quality, because these are worth more than a $5 gig for most people who hire freelancers. Fifth tip is to over-deliver, especially on your first few clients. This doesn't mean you should work for free, of course. It just means that you should deliver slightly more than expected. It can be an extra variation, it can be a quicker turnaround, or it can be a small improvement, or allowing for extra changes or something like that. Because this builds trust, it can help you get 5-star reviews, and that will help you land repeat clients also, and also increase your visibility and in general improve your overall earnings. Sixth tip is to apply consistently, because getting clients is honestly a numbers game. So sending just 2 or 3 proposals and then giving up, that just won't work. You shouldn't expect to just find a job just because you sent a couple of applications or offers. But applying consistently for a week or 2, that often then leads to your first breakthrough if you also follow the other tips I share here. The 7th tip is to don't only rely on one platform, because algorithms can change, client demand shifts, sometimes visibility drops for no reason. So if you are on 2 to 3 platforms, or even mixing a platform with a simple portfolio site, then you won't panic when one, for example, dries up. The last tip is to treat this like a real business. Deliver what you promise, communicate clearly, meet deadlines, and keep improving your skills. That's honestly what separates the freelancers who earn consistently from the ones who give up after a month. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people that just try a little bit and think that it's a magical way to become rich, and when that doesn't happen, they just give up, but they haven't actually put the time into following these steps that I shared here, and then they just won't succeed. So treat it as a real business, take it seriously, and then it definitely has potential. So those were 5 solid Fiverr alternatives, plus some tips to help you get started the right way, no matter which platform you choose. There's definitely no perfect freelance site. They all have pros and cons, but the key is to pick 1 or 2, get your first few projects in, and then you can build from there. I do have a list of my top recommended freelance sites on my website. All of these here are also included there. I'll leave a link to that below. There you can go and see full tutorials of all of these. You can also find joining links so you can easily get started with your chosen platforms. If you're actually not interested in working as a freelancer where you're depending on getting hired by others, but want to learn more about how to start your own online business so you can work completely on your own terms, then I also have some information about my top recommended way to do that on my website. I'll also leave a link to that below so you can go and check that out. And finally, if you found this video helpful, I would appreciate if you could hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.